Camp. The prison camp. The darkness of the night and the cruel cold paralyzed everything. Everything, that is, except the wind. The wind carried clouds of icy snow that broke to form a shard-like precipitation. Encountering an obstacle, the wind would throw clumps of snow, pick up new ones from the ground, and move on, ahead, to nowhere. Sometimes there would be a quiet minute. Then, through the darkness, an enormous patch of light would appear. In these rays of light, one could see barracks upon barracks spread out like a town. Towers with searchlights and guards could be seen on the horizon. Stretches of barbed wire created protective rows between which the icy glow of the menacing lights could be seen. Between the first and last rows of barbed wire, police dogs roamed lazily. The searchlight beams swept down from the towers onto the ground and slid slowly across the snow, then back to the barbed wire. Soldiers with automatic rifles standing on the towers were constantly watching the space between the rows of barbed wire. Yet it was never quiet. The wind would pick up again, blocking out the beams with snow, further darkening the misery of the barracks. The camp was in a deep slumber. Suddenly there was the sound of metal clanging against metal, first at the entrance of the camp, and then again and again in different places. The searchlights quickened their sweeping pace. The gates of the camp opened, and trucks full of supervisors and guards rolled in. The vehicles spread out quickly all over the camp. 4 men ran out of the trucks at each barracks, checking all aspects of the structure to verify that no escapes had been attempted. Having ascertained that nothing had been disturbed in any way, the supervisors unlocked the doors of the barracks. For the guards in the towers, this was the most sensitive part of the procedure. Lights came alive and rifles left the shoulders of their owners. Guard dogs began to growl and became restless. The gulag had begun its workday. The cloak of darkness lifted slightly as the northern winter day began, but the wind seemed to take no notice of the change and continued its merciless, groaning storm of snow. A short distance from the inner circle of the camp's security zone, the flames of bonfires licked the air. These served to melt the ice that blanketed the earth so that mass graves could be dug. This was the work of the men in the barracks. The barracks. The camp came alive as prisoners filed out of their barracks for roll call. The cold, freezing wind and the darkness were an agony to the people outside. Lining up by barracks, the prisoners received their meals and went directly to work. The barracks had been emptied of its inhabitants, but the smell of damp clothing, human sweat, excrement, and disinfectant filled it.